I look at Laia and kind of shake my head a little bit like, Professor, do you want us to unload any of your things now or later when we get to the inn? Several researchers.
It's going to take roughly 2 days for you guys to get down there. Being that it's nearing the end of the day, it'll take you all of tomorrow and then about mid-afternoon on the next day, so the 25th of Firewane. You would end up in Sedra Verlor. Now, you guys are kind of coming down the rolling hillside here, and you see sitting in front of you amongst just these nice, beautiful rolling hills, a river running down the side, and this large city skyline kind of just pop out from the midst of this. Very tall buildings.
How tall?
Incredibly tall.
Thank you.
Taller than anywhere else you've been. Very much a city skyline. You see at each corner of the city are large wizard towers. And then in the very center is a massive tower that kind of looms above all the rest of these buildings. As you guys get closer, you can see this is not like any other city you've been to, especially Orlo, Laia, even you, Sir Roland. You've been to one of the largest cities and live roughly near one of the largest cities in the realm. This is not that. It is massive and it is advanced. They use a mixture of very intelligent people, incredible engineers, but also mixing it with advanced magic. There are carpets flying everywhere in the horizon. There are floating platforms and stalls, and everything is imbued with this beautiful magic. All of the pathways are being swept and cleaned by inanimate objects, brooms that are just sweeping back and forth. Lights are shining, not from candles, but genuine, just magical lights line all of the streets and shops and things. It is a wonder for you guys as you make your way in through the gates, in through into the main district of this city.
Maybe this was too much for us.
Well,
No, we can at least gather a little information while we're here.
No, I think I could see you as being cosmopolitan.
Don't call
Cosmo
me
what?
names.
A big city boy.
Oh, no.
I think you'll fit right in.
I say we
You say so.
I say we head for the big tower right in the middle.
Gee,
If I know anything about mages, it's that the dude in charge, the biggest tower, and he wants to be in the highest room in the tallest tower, and he wants to have the biggest orb that he looks into
I
every
thought that
night.
was princesses.
No. Well, maybe I don't know very much.
Well, wizards are effectively princesses, but they live in the towers because they're compensating.
You know, I haven't thought about things like that, but you're exactly.
Compensating for what?
Oh,
Their love
no-
of large towers.
Oh.
Yeah, so you guys make your way through. This city is divided up into 4 districts. Well, 5 districts, 4 corners, plus the central district, which is kind of the administration hub. As you make your way into this, there's just everywhere you see, there's something that just catches your eye, bright and shiny, or floating, or magical in nature. Just everything pops and everything is so clean and pristine, especially for this period of time. It's almost unsettling, especially since you know that most people largely feel like using magic is a bad idea. You make your way to the base of this tower, and it's a massive building that kind of sprawls outward to keep the large tower that floats above the rest of the city sitting without falling over. You walk up to the front, and there's a few guards that are kind of standing by. They wear breastplates and like robes with a breastplate over top of it. They carry swords at their side and just kind of look up at you and give you a nod. And is one of you either in front or sitting like up on the carriage itself?
Roland usually rides out in front.
And I'm usually on the gun.
I'm sure this doesn't look threatening at all. Just
Um,
rolling through, like rolling into a peaceful, magical town with basically a tank.
That's fair. Maybe for the purposes of this, like once we get inside the town, I would like ride on the front of the carriage.
Fair enough. So
Yeah, we decorate the gun. We point it straight up, and we decorate it as a tower to show our appreciation
This
for
is
the
a tower.
mage towers.
Now you're onto something.
Love it. So they look at you, Laya, you, Sir Roland. Look at Steve, a little cockeyed. The guard kind of looks up. What business do you have here?
Cosmopolitan business.
Well, that's technically true. We do have
Technically correct, yeah.
important business in this metropolis. We are here as researchers of the severance, and we are looking at potential solutions for the problem which the world. My name is Sir Roland Baptiste Beauregard of the Order of the Fleur Blanc. These are my associates. Some of them are noble. All of them are very
I'll look at Laya and kind of shake my head a little bit. Like, Professor, do you want us to unload any of your things now or later when we get to the inn?
And I was
These are
kinda-
researchers.
and I was kind of
Roland,
like,
Roland
look at him.
smiles and says nothing.
I'll kind of like look at Emmerin and just be like, later.
And Orlo's like, Professor?
All right, Madam Professor, and I'm just gonna kick Orlo in the back.
Oh, yeah,
of the ankle
yeah.
kind of thing.
Of course, Madam Professor.
If you need any of your instruments, be sure to let us know, because we can help you out with that, Madam Professor.
And Orlo like pulls out his alchemy kit and is like, "Yeah, if there's anything that you need, we have it here for you."
Much obliged. Thank you.
It just seems like a lot that you're doing. It seems like maybe you'll.
Perhaps the two of you should go wait in the carriage.
Boss. As we're walking, I'm gonna look at Orlo and be like, I didn't like that. I set myself up in that position and I didn't like it.
I think I kind of liked it a little bit.
I guess we're not both on a journey of self-discovery, aren't we, buddy?
Orlo's learning new words, discovering new kinks. It's a good day.
Love that. Love that for everybody.
What does the guard say, Dom?
I love Duck's face because he's just like, what do I do with this?
The guard has just witnessed 2 sexual awakenings. And what does he say to our party as we approach this wizard tower?
He like kind of just stares at the group of you just with this very...
I assure you we're perfectly normal.
Uh-huh.
I don't think... Right. Well, and Roland's gonna like spur Max like into like past the guard. Well, have a good day. And he's gonna keep just going.
I don't know why this went off the rails. You said, hey, we're researchers. I say, hey, professor, you want us to get your stuff. Trying to back up the researcher's story. And then
No.
we have 2 sexual
all
awakenings.
of a sudden,
One guy's yuck and someone else is yum. Like,
all of a sudden, everybody's got a riding crop. Emmerin's in thigh highs. Shit's just going crazy.
look, if we have
Why is
anybody who
slightly
can do
too young
fan
for
art,
this?
I'm just saying.
Subscribe.
Emmerin in thigh highs with a whip would be hilarious.
So as you guys are kind of standing here riding past, the entrance to this building, the base of it at least, is this large open floor, like stone cobbled floor, large arches that kind of just you can see through. There's people walking through, and you see as they're like walking through that they'll like stand on one of the like places on the floor and just like disappear in like a flash of like electricity and magic. And then like somebody will appear in one of those spots and just like you can see that they're using this very much like an elevator kind of situation would be. And there's nobody stopping you from going in on foot particularly. There are some people that are like mediating and like taking questions and things of that nature. Like there's a desk and stuff if you want to like ask questions. Or you can just walk in. Nobody's going to stop you. You just can't take like Max and the carriage inside of this building particularly.
So I shrink down the
can't
carriage.
shrink the carriage.
Yeah, I knock on the door to get them to come out of the carriage, and we can shrink it down.
Roland's gonna tie up Max, and I assume that there's a hitching post somewhere around here for bumpkins like me.
With one
And
of those
Steve.
old glass standing ash trees nearby.
Yeah, Roland chiefs down a Marlboro Red. And puts it.
There's a large beam of just like a cylindrical beam that's just floating outside with a trough that's constantly being drained and filled with water magically, all like obviously that is which your best assumption would be a hitching post.
Roland is going to tie up Max, and he's going to scratch him behind his ears. Say, I know that wizard's irritating. And I want you to be on your best behavior. If one of them gets close, I'm going to, like, kiss him. Little.
And why you said you're going to tie up Steve as well.
Yeah, I'll tie up Steve, toss him a little treat, and kind of like assuming he doesn't get defensive, I'll like give a little scritch on the top of his head and just be good.
He like snaps the food out of the air, and as you like pat him, he kind of like his eyes go cross a little bit, and then as you say "be good," he kind of like the brow furrows a little bit, and he just like snaps at you.
Lyle, which one of us do you think Steve is going to kill first? I think it's Orlo.
That was going to be my guess.
Yeah.
I gave up trying to please Steve a long time ago.
And that's why.
So you guys walk in. What's your plan? Do you want to walk up to one of the desks? Do you just want to stand on one of the platforms and see what happens?
I'll walk up to the desk and just pardon me, we're looking for the library.
And there's this young Air Genasi, long flowing hair, just kind of like floating in the wind. Just very plain robes, sitting at the desk, and she like looks up at you, and she like kind of cocks her head, and she's like, "Wait, there's 4,000. Which one?"
Oh, right. So sorry. My friends and I are doing some research on the severance.
And she just stares at you and like nods her head.
Madam Professor, perhaps if you don't mind me, if I could just step in here. Sorry, Miss, is it? Professors, academics, they can be a little hard to talk to sometimes. We're new to town. Is it a place where we could potentially study the severance and allow the good professor to get back to her work? That would be of most use to us.
Go ahead and roll persuasion with advantage.
Ooh. Hey, 17.
She like you see her kind of take a deep inhale, and she's like just gives like a knowing nod. You can tell that she works with people like this all day and is very familiar. And she's like, what there's plenty of subject matter everywhere that you go here that will relate. If there's something specific that you're looking for, I would be happy to direct you. If not, the 35th floor is where our resident expert is. I don't know if they're in at the moment, but if you'd like, I can check, or you're more than welcome to go up by yourselves and just check for yourselves if that's something you wish.
I think I'll leave that to the lady professor.
Right. Thank you so much. Let's head to the 35th floor.
What do you say that the person's name was, by the way, the expert? Just so we could ask more politely.
Her name is Arcane Scholar Octavia.
Have we heard that name before?
Go ahead and make a history check.
16.
You most certainly would have heard the name before. Being somebody that is relatively close to this area, there are a few people who are very prodigious scholars that travel around, try to figure things out. Octavia herself is one of these. She is a person who specializes in ancient magics, lost spells, forgotten rituals, things of that nature. And she, because of this, is particularly interested in the severance itself, because there is a lot of things that have been lost or destroyed because of it. So she has kind of fallen into the expert of the situation.
So I'll turn around. I'll say to them like, so the late arcane scholar Octavia that she was mentioning, she's big into lost things, lost spells, lost rituals. Probably actually might know a little bit about what it is that makes me me. But she's apparently a big deal. She's a bit of a big shot, a big professor like you.
You guys walk over to these teleporters. Who's going to be the first one to try it out?
Gotta be
Roland's-
Orlo, right?
Yeah. Oh, Orlo.
Orlo, give me an Arcana check.
You're muted.
Muted.
Oh. I said, that sounds like a terrible idea.
Well, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, if Orlo hesitates, Roland is going to look at the teleporter and then look up at the party and like shrug and like step on.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check, please.
Oh man, I'm so good at Arcana.
Is there an up
It's-
button?
Ooh, a 15.
You, by all metrics, should not get this. You know, you're like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. You're like, I don't know. I have no understanding of what this is.
This is some wizard bullshit. I've got to go in and say, "Oh, it's me. I'm the smartest person who's ever lived," and then only then it will work.
And
Whatever.
And you take a step onto this platform, and you are immediately teleported to the 35th floor.
On your way up. Yeah.
Who knew that conversation that we had prior to starting
coming back.
during audio check?
Full circle.
I love it when a joke comes full circle.
Roland like gets on the 35th floor. He looks around. He looks back at the little teleportation. Is it like something inscribed in the ground, or
It's like a stone circle that has glyphs inscribed on it and a crystal set at the center.
so? Roland's gonna step off of it and look back and be like, "Well, that's bullshit."
I look at Laya and Orlo when he disappears after his rant on like, "Oh, I'm a big smart wizard."
Oh, look at I'm the smartest man who's ever lived. Look at me. Hubris has no consequences. And he steps on it and it works immediately.
Is it just me, or is Rolly getting a little more sarcastic?
A bit, yeah.
What do you think?
I think you must be rubbing off on him.
I think that happens sometimes.
He wishes.
Well, I guess I'm up.
Oh, okay.
So,
You guys.
All right, Orlo,
go
don't
ahead.
die.
Yeah, I just go and step on it.
Orlo steps on this platform and kind of like sits there for a second. Nothing happens. And then he like turns around back towards you guys, and as soon as he turns around, just disappears.
All right, cheers. And I'll walk towards it, and just in my head, and probably like very quietly out loud, I'll be whispering like 35, 35, 35.
And Laya, as soon as you step foot on this, you're immediately transported
To the right place. To the right place.
I'm gonna breathe a big sigh, look over at the air ganassi, and be like, "Academics." I'm gonna step onto the elevator.
And again, you kind of like you take a step onto it, Emmerin, and you have that second of doubt as well, and you kind of just like sit there for a second. Nothing happens. And you just kind of sit in that air for a minute, and you're like, "Oh shit!" And then just as soon as that thought kind of like hits your brain, you just you're standing next to Roland, Orlo, and Laya.
It's activated by swears. That's amazing.
I hate everything about where we are right.
This
Rolly, you hated everything about the Church of Bracken Accord. You hated everything about.
is this something you
What-
say out loud, Sir Roland?
Yeah, yeah, yes. Roland is about to start telling everybody how much he doesn't like wizards because they're just so like every wizard he's ever met has been like, yes, only I can unlock all of the secrets of the universe. And then like half of them were immediately just like killed by an orc.
I would
What?
love to inform you of this situation as you start off into this rant.
And do you know that almost every single one of them, I didn't know how to ride a horse. Just looked at a horse like it was an unsolvable equation. Couldn't even get onto the horse.
So,
Well, that's ridiculous. I can't believe that.
standing in front of you, it's a large oval kind of room that's blocked off. There's doors and things. It's kind of set up like an office building, and there's a desk at the front, and there's a couple of like scribes kind of writing things down, and they're looking at Sir Roland, and their jaws are just like slack, like as their eyes keep darting back and forth between Sir Roland and this person standing to their left. And
Do I notice this?
it is very apparent.
Then I'm gonna like just kind of jab at Sir Roland.
And who do you think caused the severance, liar? Do you think it was people like me or you? No, it was people who were in here pondering orbs, licking crystals. Why do you keep hitting me? And Roland looks over at this other person.
Standing in front of you guys is this very average individual, average height, average build, dark medium hair, and these piercing crystal blue eyes. All of you give me a perception check.
As we walk up, Orlo is like, "You'll have to forgive him. The professor likes to have a counterpoint to all of her theories so present, just so she could really bounce those ideas. So just ignore him."
23.
23.
I got a nat 20 for a 25.
Roland.
Sure.
The
Oh my
appropriate Orlo.
What was this again?
Perception, and then also you specifically roll me a deception check, please.
15 on the perception. That one
Perfect.
with a
Had to happen.
-1 deception.
0. Perfect. Even better.
A gentleman's 0.
So you see this person, and they are in these beautiful robes, extravagant beyond anything you've ever seen.
Almost as if they felt the need to just vainly declare their skill to the world with no self-awareness whatsoever, Ducky.
Beautiful fabrics, incredible detail and filigree that runs down every seam, and it's a human, roughly 35 years of age. And this man looks up at, is just staring at Sir Roland, and Orlo approaches, says the thing, and he looks at Orlo and goes, "I'm sure that's accurate, yes." And he turns back to Sir Roland and goes, "Is there something in particular I can help you with, or..." And just pauses.
Roland like looks at him and like sees him for the first time and stops, and then just goes very red in the face.
Emmerin, go ahead. Actually, you and Sir Roland, both of you, give me a history check for me, please.
14.
I got a 5.
Oddly enough, that's still enough. You let this sit in for about 5 seconds, and you realize that you know enough about things. You have a pretty good idea of people that are in charge and who they may or may not be. And it dawns on you as you're standing there staring at this man that this isn't just some fancy mage. This is the fancy mage. This is Jaime Giller. And he is just staring directly through your soul. And again, he pauses and looks up at you and goes, and kind of like slacks his robes a little bit and looks back up at you and says, I apologize. I may have slightly lost my composure. Allow me to repeat myself. My name is Giller. You seem to be lost. Either you expeditiously exit my premises, or you tell me what you would like before I send you so far beyond this world that you will never return. And
Gonna lean over to Orlo and be like, God, I hate to see what would happen if he lost his composure.
And that is where we will end the session for tonight.
Lovely.